Hey there, folks. We don't know if you've heard the news, but Yellowstone is far from over. What do we mean? Well, it appears Taylor Sheridan has a shocking surprise to keep the show running. What kind of wild twist are we talking about? Trust us, you're going to want to hear this. Let's break it all down. The end of an era, Season 5's dramatic conclusion. Yellowstone Season 5 wasn't just another chapter in the Dutton family saga. It was a full-blown emotional roller coaster, packed with jaw-dropping twists, betrayals, and the kind of drama that left fans reeling. If you thought previous seasons had their fair share of chaos, Season 5 took it to a whole new level. From shocking exits to power plays that changed everything, this season had us hitting rewind just to make sure we caught every heart-stopping moment. And if you're not fully caught up with the Yellowstone universe, spoiler alert, this season delivered not one, but two major Dutton family departures that shook the fandom to its core. First, the news that Kevin Costner was officially out sent shockwaves through the Yellowstone community. That alone was enough to leave fans in disbelief. But Taylor Sheridan didn't just write John Dutton out, he gave him a dramatic send-off, cementing the end of an era. The internet exploded. Theories ran wild. And let's be honest, seeing the legendary rancher's fate sealed was a tough pill to swallow. But just when we thought that was the biggest shock of the season, Yellowstone hit us with another gut punch. Beth and Rip, always the ultimate power couple, made sure Jamie's time was up for good. Now let's be real, Jamie was never exactly the most beloved Dutton. His betrayals, manipulative moves, and overall unhinged energy made him an easy villain. But after spending 5 seasons watching his downfall unfold, his exit still left fans feeling a strange mix of satisfaction and sadness. Maybe it was the years of watching his inner turmoil, or maybe it was just the sheer weight of finality. But one thing's for sure, Season 5 was the definition of unforgettable. And here's where things get really interesting. Beth went full revenge mode on Jamie because she believed he had a hand in their father's death, and technically, she wasn't wrong. But it got fans thinking, was this always the plan, or was Jamie's fate just another side effect of the behind-the-scenes drama between Costner and Sheridan? If Kevin had stayed, would we have gotten a completely different storyline? Either way, Season 5 Part 2 left us with a whole lot to process. But before we could even catch our breath, the internet exploded with a whole new debate. What's next for Yellowstone? Season 6? Or are we just fooling ourselves? Alright, buckle up because the rumor mill has been working overtime on this one, and wow, did it send Yellowstone fans into a frenzy? For months, whispers of a possible Yellowstone Season 6 had the fandom on the edge of their seats. Could it actually happen? Would Taylor Sheridan really find a way to keep the story alive without some of its most pivotal characters? Or was this just another case of wishful thinking fueled by die-hard fans refusing to say goodbye? At first glance, a 6th season seemed like a long shot, but not entirely out of the question. Sheridan has always been a master at keeping audiences on their toes, and if anyone could pull off a shocking continuation, it's him. But let's be real, after the jaw-dropping events of Season 5, what would a new season even look like? The Dutton family has already endured power struggles, betrayals, and more backstabbing than a Shakespearean tragedy. Would Season 6 just be more land feuds, more political drama, and more scheming? At some point, you have to wonder how much more chaos can the Duttons cause before Montana just collectively gives up and hands them the entire state? And let's not forget the biggest question of all, who would even be left to carry the story forward? With John Dutton's fate sealed and Jamie meeting his end, the show would need an entirely new driving force. Could Beth and Rip take center stage? Would Case step up as the new patriarch? Or plot twist, could we see a time jump that introduces a whole new generation of Duttons fighting to keep the empire alive? The possibilities are endless. But one thing's for sure, if Yellowstone were to return for another season, It would have to be bigger, bolder, and more explosive than ever before. But before the internet could spiral any further, another bombshell hit a spin-off: the Yellowstone sequel. And if that wasn't enough to shake things up, what really shut down the season 6 rumors was the news that Yellowstone was getting a sequel starring none other than Matthew McConaughey. And let's be real, if McConaughey was stepping in, it sounded a lot like a passing of the torch moment. Except plot twist, nothing ever goes to plan, and McConaughey ended up dropping out of the project. So, what now? Well, here's where things get really juicy. After McConaughey stepped away, Paramount started eyeing some of Yellowstone's OGs, specifically Beth and Rip, for a comeback. And honestly, that might just be the most chaotic yet perfect choice for a spin-off. Think about it. Beth and Rip were made for this kind of storyline. Their chemistry? Unmatched. Their ability to create absolute chaos? Elite. And if we jump back to the Yellowstone Season 5 finale, their revenge mission against Jamie was chef's kiss, brutal, dramatic, and totally them. And especially now, with Beth and Rip having their own new ranch in Dillon, Montana, the possibilities for a fresh storyline are endless. Beth and Rip spin-off confirmed? Here's what we know. Yellowstone fans, brace yourselves, because the biggest question on everyone's mind might have just been answered. While Paramount has yet to officially confirm a spin-off centered around Beth Dutton and Rip Wheeler, the stars themselves are dropping some major hints that are sending fans into a frenzy. Let's be honest, when Kelly Reilly, the powerhouse behind Beth Dutton, speaks, we listen. And after Yellowstone's dramatic final season, or what seems to be the series finale, really took to Instagram to share an emotional reflection on the show's incredible 7-year journey. But what happened next sent shockwaves through the fandom. A fan, clearly eager for answers, didn't hold back and asked the burning question: is the Beth and Rip spin-off really happening? Reilly's response was nothing short of jaw-dropping. Instead of dodging the question or giving a vague PR-friendly reply, she responded with one simple yet powerful word, true, accompanied by a white heart emoji. No hesitation. No cryptic messaging. Just a direct answer that feels as close to confirmation as we can get without an official announcement. So, what does this mean for the future of Yellowstone? Could we see Beth and Rip continuing their story in a brand new chapter? While we wait for Paramount to make it official, one thing is clear: the excitement is real. And this spin-off might just be the next big thing in the Yellowstone universe. Would you be on board for a Beth and Rip series? Let us know in the comments. If Beth and Rip really are coming back for their own show, then it's only a matter of time before we get more details. Until then, we'll just be here overanalyzing every social media post and desperately waiting for more clues. Because let's face it, if Yellowstone is ending, we're going to need our fix of drama, and no one brings it better than Beth and Rip. But Beth and Rip aren't the only ones expanding the Yellowstone universe. If there's one person who seems even busier than the Duttons themselves, it's Taylor Sheridan. Taylor Sheridan, creative genius or Yellowstone overload? Honestly, at this point, he seems like the busiest man in Hollywood. He's created a whole universe from one series, and frankly, it's starting to feel like he won't stop until every square inch of the Wild West has its own spin-off. First, we got 1883, then 1923, and now 1944 is on the way. And just when you thought he might take a breather, there are rumors about a new show called The Madison with Michelle Pfeiffer. At this point, it's like Sheridan saw Yellowstone blow up and said, "All right, saddle up, we're making this a whole empire." Now, don't get me wrong, we're all here for some cowboy drama. The grit, the intense stares, the inevitable land disputes. It's the stuff of TV gold. But with so many projects in the pipeline, some fans are starting to wonder, Is Sheridan spreading the Yellowstone magic a bit too thin? Let's break it down. 1883 threw us straight into the brutal, heartbreaking journey of the first Duttons, making their way to Montana full of grit, tragedy, and harsh realities. Then came 1923, where we got a front-row seat to the family's fight for survival through the Great Depression, Prohibition, and enough drama to fill a dozen history books. Both series expanded the Yellowstone lore, but they also set a high bar for storytelling. With 1944 on the horizon, fans are curious, will this new installment maintain the same depth? Or is it just another notch in Sheridan's creative belt? And it's not just the Yellowstone prequels. Sheridan is juggling more projects than a cowboy at a rodeo, mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, Lioness, and who knows what else he's got up his sleeve. The man's a storytelling powerhouse, but even the best machines need a tune-up now and then. There's a growing concern that the quality of these shows might suffer due to the sheer volume of content being produced. And now, with the Beth and Rip spin-off allegedly in the works, we've got to ask, how much bigger can the Yellowstone universe really get before it starts feeling like too much? Don't get us wrong, if any couple deserves their own show, it's Beth and Rip. Their love story has been the heart and soul of Yellowstone. And let's be real, if anyone's earned a series where they ride off into the sunset and stir up chaos in a brand new town, it's them. But will this spin-off have the same magic Yellowstone had? Or will it feel like just another extension of a franchise that's already got too many moving parts? Yellowstone worked because it was gritty, raw, and full of power struggles that kept us glued to our screens. If Beth and Rip get their own show, what will the stakes be? Will it feel like a natural continuation of their story, or just another way to keep Yellowstone alive even after the flagship show has ended? Sheridan has built a TV empire, and no one can deny he knows how to tell a gripping story. But with all these projects coming at us full speed, fans can't help but wonder, are we still getting Yellowstone? Or are we just getting Yellowstone the franchise? But folks, one thing's for sure, Yellowstone's story is still far from over. Whether it's spin-offs, sequels, or shocking twists, Taylor Sheridan isn't done yet. And hey, want more drama-filled updates? Then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.